Welcome to our ultimate Finnish Lapland guide. If you can't tell, this place is absolutely magical and we are completely obsessed with Lapland. So we're gonna show you guys all of the best and worst things to do while you're here in Lapland. But first, it's about -2 degrees outside, so let's head inside.
The first question that needs to be answered is, where should you go?
The top 3 places that we think you should go in Lapland are Rovaniemi, Levi, and
Saraselka.
I couldn't pronounce that one.
We have been to Rovaniemi and Levi, and we loved both of them. We haven't been to the third place yet, but we heard a lot of people were making the journey far up north to that town, and they all said they loved it.
I'm sure you could probably see the northern lights there like every single night because it's so far north. If I could tell you the perfect way to do this, I would say fly into Rovaniemi, stay there for a few days, then take the bus up to Levi, stay there for a few days, and then take another bus up to
Saraselka.
And then you would have the perfect Lapland itinerary. But while you are in all of these places, there are a few things that I think you should do in each one of them, which would be, if we are in Levi, you should definitely go skiing.
That is absolutely something you should do. If you want to go skiing at all on this trip, I feel like you have to go to Levi. You just have to stop by there. It is Finland's most popular ski resort. I think it being in Lapland is one of the reasons why it is so popular, and it just has the best mountains. I know you can go skiing in Rovaniemi, but Levi's a lot better.
We have also heard that Ilves is an amazing place to ski from a lot of locals in Finland, and we've heard that it's actually better than the mountains in Levi. So if you are an avid skier, then we would suggest going to Ilves. Maybe my number one thing that I think you should do, that you can do in any of these places, is go in a sauna and then roll in the snow. This is like such a typical Finnish tradition, and it is just so much fun. We had the best time in the sauna, and then rolling in the snow is like the perfect little jolt that you need. I'm so shocked at how much fun I had doing it.
You are going to be able to do this in a lot of places. Sauna is like the biggest activity you can do in Finland, so you're going to have access to one at some point during your stay here in Lapland. You are either going to have one inside your own accommodation, or it's just going to be a quick walk to one.
And then, of course, when you're in Rovaniemi, you should go to Santa Claus Village. It is super magical. That's why I think Rovaniemi is a perfect first stop in your Lapland itinerary. And then in any of these places, you definitely need to go on a reindeer sleigh ride. And of course, you have to drive the Huskies. The Huskies was like the most fun activity, I think, other than the sauna, because you're going so fast. It is so cold though, because the wind is hitting you in the face. We did crash a few times when we were driving our Huskies, but it is just so much fun, and you absolutely have to do that when you're in Lapland.
And obviously, Northern Lights, one of the best things to do there. I mean, it has to be. And the more north you go, probably the better chance that you're going to see them. But of course, it all depends on the weather. You have to find a day where it is just clear skies, and I think pretty much anywhere in Lapland you'll be able to see them as long as there's no cloud cover.
It is better to go a little bit farther north though, just to give you a better chance, and obviously to get away from the city lights. It is super important when you're looking for the northern lights to not be around big bright lights, because even looking at lights will make your retinas or your irises not be able to take in as much light and see the northern lights as clearly as you possibly could.
It's always great to see the northern lights on your own, but if you want a higher probability of seeing them, go with a guide and go with somebody that can take really cool pictures of the northern lights.
Wherever you're traveling in the world, transportation is always something that you have to consider.
There are buses, there's trains, there's taxis.
There's planes.
You have to know exactly what you want to do. Depending on where you go in Lapland, you are going to be taking one of these transportation methods. So we'll just take Jenny's example of going to Rovaniemi first. The best way to get there is to probably take a plane from Helsinki. If you're coming from outside of Finland, you might have a layover in Helsinki and it'll take you to Rovaniemi. You can also take a train up there, but it's gonna take you a lot longer.
Yeah. And it's just an overnight train, so you don't get to see any pretty scenery. It's called the Santa Claus Express. But taxis are fairly easy to get in these places. We took a taxi from the airport to our accommodations both times that we landed in Rovaniemi, and they're just waiting outside the airport right there for you. They are pretty expensive though, if I'm being honest.
Yes, taxis are extremely expensive, so you don't want to be taking them very often, even though they are extremely convenient. So in Rovaniemi, yes, we did take a couple taxis. It was fine, but we would much rather rely on the bus, but you have to understand the whole bus system, make sure you get on the right ones, the right stops.
And the Finland bus system was a little bit confusing. I'm not gonna lie, like there was a time that we were waiting at the bus stop and it said the bus was coming at say 10 a.m. and we were waiting until like 10:30 and we were like, and there was other people there and they were like, hey, is this the right bus stop? And we were like, I think so. And then the bus showed up, picked us up 30 minutes late, and then drove like 2 minutes away and then just parked in a parking lot for like 15 minutes. And finally Jacob went up to the driver and was like, what's going on? And then the driver was like, oh, okay, we can go now. I was like...
The Finland bus system, I would say that it is pretty reliable. It's just that they might not run on the schedule that you think they're going to.
They kind of do whatever they want.
But that's totally fine. You just have to go into it like having those expectations, and then you won't get so stressed out.
It will show up eventually. The trains aren't super accessible like you would think that they normally are in Europe. It makes more sense to take the bus. There might be train routes, but they're kind of hard to figure out and there's not really a lot of them.
Now, of course, we have to talk about what kind of food you should eat when you're in Lapland.
The food in Finland is chef's kiss. It's amazing. It's so good.
The salmon, the first time we tried it, it just blew us away.
Blew our
so
minds.
much better than anything we've had from the United States. We actually heard from a few people that salmon that Finland has might be coming from Norway. So we are really excited to try the salmon when we get to Norway. So fresh and so tasty.
It doesn't taste fishy. It just tastes good. And the smoked salmon is our absolute favorite. I could eat it every meal.
It's one of my favorite foods now, but sadly, when we are in the United States, we probably won't be able to get something anywhere close to the same quality.
Yeah. But the wild berries there are also like nothing we have ever tasted before.
It's like kind of sour
a
little bit, but I mean,
they explode in your mouth and there's all these juices that come with them. Oh, they're so good.
And the blueberry juice too. They make the blueberry juice out of the wild blueberries. And can you even get blueberry juice like anywhere else?
I've never had it anywhere but Finland. I've also heard that they make blueberry soup that's supposed to be really good. I never saw that on any menu of any of the restaurants we went to.
Another item, of course, that you need to try is the Finnish mustard. It tastes so much different than just yellow mustard or like Dijon mustard. You have to try the mustard. And the best way to do that is with a sausage over a fire outside in the snow.
Oh, it's just perfect. People in Finland do it all the time. They go out into nature, have a fire, and roast the sausages. It's just perfect. Just don't put anything else on it other than mustard and you'll have a great sausage. Another great thing about traveling in Finland is you do not have to worry about the tap water. You can just drink it. And as people who travel so much, it is so stressful when you get to another country and you can't brush your teeth with the water, you can't drink the water, you have to go find water bottles everywhere you go and they're expensive. So it is such a nice thing to be able to land in a country and just drink water straight from the tap and have it be so delicious and crisp and just so good.
Finland, and Lapland especially, has some of the cleanest drinking water in the entire world. We were so happy to know this, like going into it. Water bottles get expensive and annoying and heavy when you're carrying them from the grocery stores.
Yeah.
So we hate dealing with that. We will if we have to, but I mean, Finland, it's just so nice, so convenient to have drinking water wherever we go.
You can also just like take a cup and go dip it in the river and then drink it. And we actually did this while we were there once, and yeah, the water tasted great.
And one thing you always worry about wherever you go is the money situation when you get there. Finland operates on the euro, which is very common throughout Europe. So this is extremely nice for European travelers, but it's also nice for everybody outside of Europe, especially if you are planning a long trip to several countries.
But mostly, I don't think we ever had any cash in Finland. We only ever used our credit cards.
Yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, they do operate on the euro, so it's convenient, but like, you know, you just tap your card or you swipe it.
Yep.
And you just don't even have to worry about it because they do the currency conversion for you.
So what type of credit cards does Finland accept?
Pretty much like everything. Like, we really didn't have a problem. Visa and MasterCard are the two most popular throughout the entire world. Never had a problem using those. American Express, I also use that a lot, and no issues there. I would say like Discover is the fourth like United States like credit card company that like I think that one just like universally isn't accepted at that many places. So I think some places in Finland didn't accept it, but overall, I think they were generally accepted.
And they took Apple Pay too from our phones. Like, it was so convenient.
Yeah, most of it was just us like tapping our phone on their readers. It's like even more convenient in Finland than it is like in the United States.
Yeah. So if you're going to Finland, don't worry about converting your cash or anything. Just use your Apple Pay, use your credit cards, you're gonna be fine. Another great thing to know about traveling in Finland is mostly everyone speaks English, so you don't have to worry about learning any Finnish. I mean, I think they would probably appreciate it if you could say a few words just to show respect, but yeah, they're all great at speaking English. Now we're gonna tell you about what to pack if you are going there. First of all, you need to pack, obviously, very, very heavy jackets, coats, pants. We wear thermals under everything that we wear when we're there.
Of course we are talking about the winter because it's winter right now, extremely cold, but even in the summer, I'm sure you're gonna have to wear heavy coats.
If you're watching this and you live in Finland, you're probably laughing because yes, the summers there probably would seem cold to us, but I know for you guys, you would consider it hot, but I would still bring at least one jacket if you're going to Finland in the summer. It probably doesn't have to be super heavy.
And of course, like in the winter, you need to bring like all the snow essentials, like gloves and snow boots.
Beanies.
Are very important. Hand warmers.
So important.
Hand warmers. You have to bring hand warmers. We're so happy you watched our guide to Finnish Lapland. We have so many other adventures. We're not just traveling in Finland. We are going to Norway very, very soon. And we also travel all around the world. So if you want to watch any of those videos, the playlist will be right here. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.